Chris Johnson sits in a bar, counting the seconds on his wristwatch and wall clock, as if waiting for someone who hasn't shown up. But why watch the time when he can make money as a magician and psychic in Las Vegas? Known as Frank Cadillac, he's a second-rate magician, putting on a weak show that impresses no one, not even the FBI detectives investigating his performances. Since the shows don't pay much, Frank supplements his income with gambling. And believe me, the house is always out of luck, as Frank wins every game, careful not to win too much and avoid attracting attention. Chris isn't a master gambler, but an ordinary guy with a special gift. He can see the future, but only his own, and only 2 minutes ahead. This allows him to profit in the casinos, but it ends up attracting the attention of security, who are suspicious of card tricks, since he never loses and doesn't follow predictable patterns. The first demonstration of his skill occurs when he goes to exchange chips at the casino. He foresees a man shooting 2 people in front of him. Using the 2 minutes he visualized, Chris tries to save the victims, but the security guards mistake him for a robber. He escapes by anticipating the eye, guards every move, changing clothes in the bathroom and grabbing a hat. He then takes a car, but a train destroys it, something he also foresees, escaping the police unharmed. Meanwhile, FBI detective Callie Ferris has been on Chris's tail for months, investigating him for gambling fraud. She still doesn't know how. He does it, but she realizes his methods are unique, always anticipating the next move to avoid being caught. However, his boss is more concerned with a terrorist theft of a nuclear warhead, considering the pursuit of a fake magician a lower priority. Callie tries to convince her boss that Chris has an advanced awareness that could help find the warhead. The challenge is locating him, as his ability allows him to hide easily. In a conversation with a friend in a warehouse, Chris mentions a girl he hasn't met yet, but predicted he'll meet at a coffee shop. She's the only person who lets him see, beyond the usual 2 minutes. Knowing Callie is a police officer, his friend asks why he doesn't run, but Chris wants to find out what she knows. Meanwhile, the detective intensifies the search, and Chris, now in legal trouble, including car theft, is pressured by the FBI to help find the stolen nuclear warhead under threat of arrest. Besides the FBI, a group claiming to be from the Gaming Commission is also after Chris, wanting information about the security guard he neutralized. This group, which shoots someone in the knee, clearly has no good intentions, further complicating the situation. It's at this point that the girl Chris predicted enters the story. He encounters her in the coffee shop at the exact time of his visions, and is struck by her beauty. She's Liz Cooper, who's trying to get rid of a persistent ex-boyfriend. Chris tries to get closer, but in his 3 predicted attempts, none of them work. In one of them, she doesn't even let him speak. So he uses his ability to humiliate his ex-boyfriend, making him look like an idiot. While impressive, the trick doesn't win Liz over right away. In another prediction, Chris sees a future in which he gets punched, which sparks her compassion. Seizing the opportunity, he wins her sympathy, gets a ride by claiming his car was stolen, and discovers she's going to the same place as him. Chris Johnson wants to understand why. With Liz Cooper, her future prediction time is much longer, extending beyond the usual 2 minutes. During a conversation, he asks her if she believes in destiny. Liz gives an intriguing answer, saying she's never felt an uncertain future, and that this unpredictability is what makes life interesting, which is why she doesn't believe in destiny. Little does she know that Chris's gift is something many would covet to get rich quick. Meanwhile, the FBI continues to pursue Chris, now more intensely, as murders are being linked to him. Furthermore, the alleged members of the Gaming Commission are actually French terrorists who have been planning to steal a nuclear warhead for 2 years and want to eliminate anyone who might foresee their plans, like Chris. Liz is a teacher on a Native American reservation in the Grand Canyon, where she teaches English to children from a small tribe. Chris demonstrates his gift to the children, impressing Liz, who discovers he is Frank Cadillac, the magician from a small show in Las Vegas. She never imagined meeting a magician in a coffee shop, And although she finds him charming, she also finds him strange. Even so, they begin to bond. Because it's raining heavily that night, they take shelter in a motel. Before sleeping in the car, Chris tells a joke about a Zen master who orders a hot dog, saying, "Make me one with everything." Meanwhile, the terrorist threat escalates and a red alert is activated. The FBI decides to use all its resources to capture Chris, who is now also being pursued by the terrorists. Just as things begin to heat up between him and Liz, with a kiss and an incredible morning together, the FBI locates Liz. They approach her, show her casino security footage, and claim Chris is a dangerous sociopath, suggesting she's in danger, and using her to escape. Confused, Liz begins to doubt Chris, believing she's been tricked. The FBI's plan is to have Liz slip a pill into Chris's drink to drug him, allowing her to be captured. The challenge is that the plan must be synchronized with the 2 minutes Chris can predict. While Chris shaves, Liz tries to follow the FBI's plan, but changes her mind and reveals the truth about the agents pursuing him. She also mentions a recording of him disarming a man in the casino. Chris, acting casually, grabs another glass of juice, avoiding the drink with the pill, and explains who he is. To prove his gift, he recites lines from a TV channel with his back to the screen, impressing Liz. He reveals he can see everything that affects his future in the next 2 minutes, except when it concerns her. As with her, his visions extend for weeks or even months. This upsets Liz, but she begins to trust him. Chris gives her money and writes instructions for her to follow in exactly 40 seconds, assuring her that, even if it takes weeks or months, he will find her. Chris escapes the FBI, predicting every move and even the trajectories of the bullets fired at him. Liz, following his instructions, drives the car into a water tower and a cliff, causing extensive destruction involving train cars. Without his gift, Chris would not have survived. However, when he encounters Detective Callie Ferris, he predicts that she will be crushed by her own patrol car and falling logs. To save her, he intervenes but is eventually captured. Now, even his good deed doesn't seem enough to free him. Liz is also captured, but by terrorists, while Detective Callie Ferris uses Chris as a guinea pig. According to her, there are bigger issues at stake. A hidden nuclear bomb that threatens 8 million lives. This presents Chris with a moral dilemma. Helping Callie means risking his life, and if he finds the bomb, he could become a tool of the government, losing his freedom forever. The detective wants Chris to use his gift of seeing 2 minutes into the future to analyze TV news reports and locate the detonation site. To do so, she places devices in his eyes to keep them open, even though Chris's vision of the future doesn't depend on physical sight. Chris foresees a terrible future. Liz, strapped to a wheelchair packed with explosives, is being held hostage by the terrorists. Time is short, as the TV is already reporting the incident. He tries to stop the terrorists by quickly dispatching the police, but realizes that if he reveals everything he saw, Liz will die. Callie, under pressure, frees Chris from torture, but keeps him at the FBI base. He seizes the opportunity to escape, using his ability to distract the soldiers with magic tricks and foreseeing every escape route. However, leaving the base is not enough. Chris, now able to see 2 hours into the future, has time to plan a more elaborate strategy. With his enhanced vision, Chris helps the police devise a plan. He pretends to be shot and die to deceive the terrorists, allowing the FBI to capture them. Even so, he still sees Liz dying in his visions. He identifies a van packed with explosives, triggered by a cell phone, and gives Callie the license plate number. The FBI acts quickly, cornering and eliminating the terrorists, with Chris predicting their every move, down to the number of bullets in their magazines. His ability goes further. He can see multiple timelines simultaneously, covering more possibilities in less time. This allows him to locate the terrorist holding Liz hostage. Confronting him face to face, Chris uses his knowledge of the future, and Callie, with her precise aim, executes the plan, neutralizing the enemy and saving Liz. Despite the success, the danger persists. The nuclear warhead is hidden in Los Angeles. Chris is torn. unsure if his visions are limited to 2 minutes, 2 hours, or more. Then the grand finale reveals the truth. Everything that happened, the capture, the escape, the confrontation, was a prediction Chris had made at the motel. He decides to call Callie, agreeing to help fight the terrorists, but on the condition that Liz be kept out of the case. He warns it might take a week, but promises to find her. With the phrase, "looking into the future changes the future," and thus everything else, Callie arrives to take him to the FBI, where he will begin work. The film ends with the potential for a sequel, but unfortunately, there was no sequel. This is the end. If you liked it, comment, subscribe, and like. Help this unemployed movie lover avoid living on the streets. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.